Excuse? That's crazy. That's insane. Okay. I'm upset. This is like Tower of Terror for the chops. That's what this person is doing, is Tower of Terror for the chops. Hey everybody, we're back reacting to more trombone stuff. Hopefully good trombone stuff, maybe bad, I don't know, because everyone else is doing it. So let's get into it. All right, so I have not seen this before at all. I'm just gonna copy and paste this link, and I'm gonna go to the link, and I'm gonna see what it is. Oh dear. All right. I'm scared now. Okay. So first of all, I'm already terrified because this is Marshall Gilkes. And the second I see the face of Marshall Gilkes, I'm just like, I'm out. If you don't know, Marshall Gilkes is stupid. Amazing player. Does a lot of classical, but is mainly known, I think, for jazz. The stuff this man does with trombone is absolutely insane. I could never, ever hold a candle to this guy, honestly. I'm not that good. And I can already tell by his embouchure, he's probably playing very high right now. So that's going to make me real sad. So let's just dig in and cry together. Here we go. I need my tissues. Hold on. Okay, so we got some cool people here. So you may know from a video I did a couple videos ago, this lovely man wearing the black shirt here, that's Joe Alessi. That's the soloist from the Reigns of Castamere video a couple videos back. So that's pretty cool. All right, anyway, keep going. Excuse? That's crazy. That's insane. So, first of all, what we're working with right now, this brass ensemble, if you've ever arranged for brass before, this is not like, at least in my experience, this is not a very like traditional brass group, which is great. I think it's awesome. So already you can see that we've got a whole bunch of people. Typically it's 5. You have 2 trumpets, a French horn or horn, you have a trombone, and you have a tuba. And that's it. That's what you're working with. But it looks here that I've got at least a bass trombone, I've got a tuba. I don't know what this red shirt human is right here. I think it's either another tuba or maybe a euphonium. It looks probably like a euphonium, which is very rare. Again, brass ensembles typically don't have euphoniums. Brass quintets and the like. Woodwind quintets only use horns. So this is already a pretty unique setup. Love that. A couple things that I noticed right off the bat, which is really great. You got a lot of different horns going on here. Like I've got at least a flugelhorn here. I've got a couple, like a B-flat trumpet, another flugel down there. I could see on the floor might be like a piccolo trumpet or something similar. So we're going to see some horn changes throughout here. Hopefully that'll be pretty neat. The other real thing I noticed is just the absolute timing of these people. They've got headphones on, 100%. They have a click going, got, and they'll probably have some subdivisions as well. So you heard the first trumpet do this 5. So da da 1 2 3 4 5 1. 1 2 3 4 5 1. So maybe they had a click, something like that. They might have a click to help them align, but honestly, I think they're just really good. Let's listen to the intro one more time because that's stupid. That's crazy. So it sounds like a triple meter, maybe like 6/8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like that. Crazy. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let's let Marshall play. So, if you don't play the trombone, I think one really fun thing to kind of watch when you look at a video of a brass player, and it's something that a lot of arranger composers just don't think about a lot, or they kind of are vaguely aware of it, but then they're not really familiar with it enough to kind of plan accordingly. For us, it's the vertical movement, right? We have a slide or buttons, right? Horizontal movement, but we have this vertical movement which is controlled with partials, which means we have to change the mouth shape to play higher or lower in the horn. And what's really cool is that when you actually see him play, you can see his mouth shape changing as he's going da, da, da. You can see the corners kind of pulling back as he goes higher and then changing again as he goes back down. Watch how it changes. I want to make this really clear. What is happening right now is he is playing really high. Really high. That's why a couple of those top notes, it may sound like the tone quality went down. That's because playing that high is literally beyond the capabilities of what trombone is supposed to do. That F is technically the very, very top of the trombone range officially. So any virtuoso solos, whatever, composers are pretty much allowed to write to that F for the best of the best of the best players, and that's as high as you're allowed to go. And Marshall's just like, no, we're gonna go higher than that. So he's just playing higher because why not? Crazy, crazy stuff. And you know how you know he's playing really high? Look at the vein on his head. Look at this vein right here. That's a vein that says, I'm playing higher than the horn is supposed to go. That's what that means. It's ridiculous. Also, while we're paused here, another really, really interesting thing to look at, if you're not familiar with the recording world and what it's like to record as a professional player, notice that he has a headphone on. It looks like he's playing so high that the headphones are just getting blasted off, but that's not true. He has one headphone off of his ear on purpose. Having both ears on when you play, especially brass, is supremely annoying. It interferes with the vibrations, I think, of your head when you play, to where it makes it really difficult to actually hear what you're doing coming out the bell. It's very, very difficult. Most of the time when you play in a setting like this, all the other brass guys have it as well. You have the headphones, you have a little box, you'll see probably later in the video. That box has feedback for different microphones of different people. Your own feedback you can crank really high, so whatever you're playing in the mic is coming back to you into the headphones, and you can make that as loud as you want. But unfortunately, no matter how loud you make it, for most brass players, we don't like that in-headphone feedback. The best one we can get is the one we get in the room. So that's why they're always taking one headphone off. When I play, actually, I take my left one off the most. I don't know why I prefer that, though. That's weird. You would think it would be the right one because the trombone is over there, but I'm weird. All right, moving on. Very nice. That's a very classic diminished kind of cadenza. We call it cadenza when you just do whatever you want. Diminished is when all the notes going up are minor thirds. Da 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 da. That's a really, really common thing to do when you do cadenzas a lot of the time. So we got to stop for just a second. So as I mentioned before, you can see the embouchure changing. The mouth shape is changing all the time to go high to low, but he is doing something absolutely wild and unheard of for a lot of people, which he's playing up into this mid-high range, which is typically where trombone solos are, and he is effortlessly dipping down into these very low pedal notes. So it sounds something, I think, like this. Well, there you go. I'm just going to stop there because it's very clear I can't do it. I just can't do that. I literally just can't do that right now. It's just not something I can do. If I practiced a lot, and if I played on a straight horn like he has, I'm playing on a larger horn right now. If I played on a smaller trombone like he's got, maybe with a lot of practice I could do that, but that's just a testament to how good he is and how much I need to practice. Unreal. Unreal. Excuse me. One more time. Okay. I'm upset. This is a pedal G to that high F. The one, remember when I said that's the tippy top of the trombone range you're allowed to write, and a pedal G, which is well into the tuba range. I think I could manage that very slowly. Let's see. Boy, I can't get that to come out though. Well, I can't get it to pop the way he does, but yeah, that's pretty much almost a 4-octave leap, and that's happening, as you can hear, much faster than me, much clearer than me, much better than me in every way. Wow, unbelievable. That's ridiculous. Okay. So what's really great is that the ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What's really cool is the trumpet, if you recall, the way at the beginning, they played that exact same thing, da-da-da, and they played it in the same octave as well as the trombone is doing it right now. So right now, the trombone is playing that in the trumpet range, the exact same thing that the trumpet played. No watering down, no alternate, oh, trombones can't do what trumpets can do. No, he's playing the exact same thing. Awesome. Yeah, so we've changed meters. Can you hear it? So first it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We changed to what's called a duple meter. So now instead of feeling that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, now it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or maybe 2, 4 or 4, 4. Anyway, there's a 4 at the bottom of the time signature. Watch Marshall come in and play exactly what the horn is doing right now on the trombone in the same octave. I'm just waiting for it. He's just gonna come in and do the exact same thing. Yo, we got some Zelda. some Ocarina of Time. Nice. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. This thing is almost 8 minutes. 8 minutes of absolute just jaw-dropping trombone stuff. But I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit towards the end because I want to see what's going on when they build up. That was the beginning of just like the calm solo cadenza stuff. I want to see what they do at the end. Wild. Oh, hang on. Okay, remember when I said, oh, and then on the floor I spot some probably piccolo trumpets. There they are. See, there's one here. And then here, little first trombone guy's got a little piccolo trumpet as well. Usually have 4 valves. They're super cute. Also, take note that next to this third trumpet guy, all of them, by the way, who have one headphone off, there's a little box thingy. It looks like a tiny little piano. Oh, and there's one here actually too, on the left of the screen here. Got a lot of buttons and interface and stuff. That's the boxes that everybody's headphones are plugging into, and that's what all the microphones are plugging into as well. So one really crazy thing about that, there's 2 thoughts I had. The first one is that his articulation, right, the ta-ta-ta, tonguing of the notes, he's a primarily jazz player, I'm sure I mentioned. He's primarily a jazz guy, so his articulation is very soft. It's a very soft do-do-do-do-do-do. It still has enough clarity, though. I can still tell what's going on, but it's a very, very soft articulation. It's a lot softer than a lot of classical players would do, which is kind of interesting. And this sort of scale, it's very saucy. I don't want to say Spanish because I know that's far too much of a generalization. It's not specifically Spanish, but that like the flat 2 thing out in the desert, whatever you want to call it. That sort of vibe. I think that this sort of jazz articulation works well here. I think that's pretty much the only way you could do it. But the other thought I had about this whole thing was just holy mother, like how fast he's playing, and a lot of it is just that scale, da 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 da, and it's sort of like doing ornamentations on each of those chord tones basically. But what's so crazy about it is because, as I mentioned many times, you're doing horizontal movement and you're doing this vertical movement, and just the fact that he is doing all of this vertical movement, so much of that is in the chops. So much of that happens right here. It's here and air. And the slide is not really doing a lot. Did you see? It's not like he's doing this and he's not going, bah! He doesn't have to, because so much of it is vertical. If he himself, I think, probably wrote this, it's very likely he wrote this, or brass people wrote this, and that's how you know, because so much of that dexterity and just doing these huge runs and stuff happen with barely any slide movement at all. It's just in the chops. And what's even more impressive about what he's doing is that by doing what he's doing, it takes so much, like, it takes a different kind of finesse and accuracy, right? You have to have such muscle control over the chops. So for example, so if you have this like C sharp D, C sharp B flat A, da dee da da da, something like that, right? You can double tongue it, but he doesn't have to, because what he's doing instead is he's not tonguing at all, and he's sort of doing this sort of lip slur accent. So it's a da right? But what's even better is that because it's happening so quickly, you don't even have to move the slide to that alternate slide position way out there in 4. That's silly, because it's happening so quickly, you don't even know. Your ear doesn't even process that it's happening. So then what he's doing is he's just keeping the slide in 2nd position and just doing kind of a very quick da as an ornamentation, because it's really like, It's the idea of it that you really need to hear. You don't need to hear the individual pitches. You just need to hear ba-da-da, da-da-da, right? So then put together, right? Then it gives you the idea without having to get into the specifics of each individual pitch. It's fantastic stuff. And not only is he doing that, da-da-da-da, he's doing it 5-6 times in a row, da-da-da-da-da, just going up and down, all these different partials, all up and down the floor. If this was an elevator, you would be throwing up because of just the insane movement up and down all the floors and just, this is like Tower of Terror for the chops. That's what this person is doing, is Tower of Terror for the chops. Yeah, so see what I mean? So all that about the vertical movement, but the slide movement not doing anything. Everything he's doing here is either first or second position. Let's see that again. So all he's doing is he's just doing 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, and then he's using the chops to do a very specific movement, and then taking that whole idea and then just going down lower and then down lower. So it's kind of something like that, right? That was perfect. Pay me. But yeah, that's the idea though, is just moving the slide back and forth and just do it. And the movement of the mouth shape is very gradual. You're not thinking about the individual pitches anymore. You're just thinking, get higher, low, get higher, low, like a car, like a car changing gears. That's pretty much what the movement is with the chops. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely unreal. Marshall Gilkes is a monster at trombone. It's crazy. The fact that Joe Alessi is sitting in his brass section supporting him doing all that nonsense. Joe is sitting here. That should tell you something, okay? When Joe is in the supporting group, that is a hint that the person playing the trombone solo is just absolutely wild. Pedal notes just jumping up in that ridiculous range. The flexibility this man has is just so stupid. I don't know how. It's amazing. I wish I could be half the player he was. I really need to go practice. Why is that a theme with these reaction videos? Just, I need to go practice. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this for now. Definitely go watch the full thing. I definitely plan to. If you would like to see me react to any trombone stuff, trombone video or audio is fine. If you want to have me react to something super awesome and amazing like this, or if you want me to react to trombone fails or bad trombone or weird trombone or any kind of trombone stuff, just send me the link in the Google form. I have it around somewhere. Fill out the form, send it in. I'll react to it, we'll laugh, we'll cry, we'll all practice, and it's going to be super grand. That's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one, and now I'm going to do a cry in a bucket that I am not as good as Marshall Gilkes. I'll see ya.